Welcome to another episode of the Culinary Enthusiast at Lorain County Community College inside of the Culinary Stadium Theater. I am Adam Schmith. I'm the culinary program chef here, and with me today is Executive Chef Brad Ball. And
Thanks
welcome.
for having me.
You are with a quite interesting group of
Absolutely.
restaurants, and I want you to introduce yourself and kind of tell us about where you're at.
Most recently, I was the executive chef of Lolita. We're closed right now, but right now we're opening up Mabel's Barbecue on East 4th very soon. I was also the executive chef of Roast in Detroit for a time. I started in Detroit, they moved me down here, went back, came back, and they've taken really good care of me over the years.
That's great.
They've done a lot for me and give me a lot of opportunity.
Well, we invited Brad out today. He has joined our contemporary cuisine class upstairs, and he did a really spectacular rendition of a pork chop. So today he is going to do a process that's referred to as sous vide.
Absolutely.
So why don't you explain to us what sous vide is?
Sous vide's under pressure. On Thursday of last week, I came in for the class, demoed the pork chop. We like to call it a bacon-cured pork chop. It's been cured for 3 days, and then I'm sous videing it for 2 hours at 140 degrees.
Okay, so you say pressure cooking with sous vide. So explain to us exactly what that is, because we have a nice water bath back here, and it's kind of a process where a temperature-controlled environment inside of a sealed, seasoned bag, which is airtight. So tell us about this.
I've got about a 2-pound pork chop right here. It's been cured with cumin, coriander, paprika, salt. Cure number 1 to give it the nice pink hue, and then I cryovac it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and it's been cooking for about an hour and a half, I think, at this point.
Okay.
And then when it comes time to pick up, I'm just going to open the bag, throw it on the grill. It's a really quick pickup that really saves us a lot of time at the restaurant, and it gives us ease of prep and a lot of control.
So there's a lot of consistency inside of this product. Now,
Absolutely.
One term that you used was cure. Now,
Yeah.
what the curing process, and we talk about curing and brining here a lot in our course studies. Now, what's the difference between the two? Are they similar?
To me, a cure is dry on the outside. A brine is water.
Sure.
For a few. I should have a buckboard bacon still floating around upstairs somewhere.
Probably.
That's been brined with molasses that I'm hoping someone smokes this week. This, it's sat in the cooler for about an hour with the cure, and then I just wrapped it up and cryovac it.
All right, so there's a temperature that you're actually cooking this at, and there's a period of time that sous vide cooking has to go to make sure that all bacteria and harmful bacteria are cooked out. I know you started at 140 degrees. Was there a time for this size of chop that people should know about? Or?
I'm shooting for 2 hours.
Shooting for 2 hours.
And I think we're going to get pretty close during the demo.
I hope so.
And we'll be pretty happy with how it comes out. Like I said, it's a real quick pickup, and for a piece of meat this size, to be able to pick it up in a few minutes gives you more options, I think.
Okay.
We're going to serve it family style with a root veg salad on top.
Excellent. You have a nice recipe to share with us today as well. So why don't you run us through, besides just the pork on top of pork and pork,
what else we're
there's
doing?
some vegetables and some healthy things going on over here too.
There is a couple healthy things. Not really at all.
Wow.
We're going to be doing a carrot and ginger puree. I've got the carrots peeled and ready to go. Ginger over there, I'm going to be steeping that in some heavy cream. I'm going to slice those down, sweat down garlic and shallot with some butter, put my carrots in, cook the carrots with the chicken stock until they're nice and soft, puree it, pass it through.
And you remember this because you have this all written on your sleeve in the order of procedure. All right.
We did it a couple times at the restaurant.
Excellent.
So it's strikingly similar, but not the same thing.
Excellent. All right. Well, why don't you walk us through the process?
So I guess I'll just get started.
So this, while you're cooking, we're going to kind of talk about the restaurant group a little bit because you're with the Michael Simon group. You've been there for quite some time, and you're with Lolita and all the other spots. I remember going down there when Lolita was the original Lola, and just really enjoying it down there. And then this new restaurant that's starting up is called Mabel's, and that's going to be around the corner from Michael's other restaurant.
Yeah, it's right next door to Lola, as well as the Greenhouse Tavern. Now some more PR there.
One of the Jonathan Sawyer buddies. You guys all seem to stick together.
Yeah, they're real good to us too.
They are awesome.
First, I'm going to slice this ginger down, nice and thin, so it gets into the cream really nice, flavors the cream, and I'm going to puree some of the ginger into the carrots as well.
Well, ginger is good for you. So
And heavy
that'll
cream.
offset the bacon a little bit, and then you kill it with the heavy cream. Awesome.
So now toss this in here. put this on low heat and just let it do its thing. Yeah, I'm really excited about the Mabel's opportunity. I've cooked brisket, but I've never cooked hundreds of pounds of brisket.
And that's okay. And this is a barbecue restaurant that's opening up, so
yeah.
barbecue style.
You know, we're trying to create a Cleveland style barbecue. There's going to be barbecue elements. We got 2 really nice smokers that I can't wait to fire up. And then there's going to be a lot of Eastern European style influences. There's going to be
There's a lot of Eastern European folks that have traveled over that do live in Cleveland with all the ethnic groups and West Side Market area in Ohio City and Tremont. So that'll be a great little spot. I've never heard of barbecue referred to as Cleveland barbecue. So
we're trying
I guess
to make
we'll
a
wait
new
and see what it is.
Yeah, we're trying to do something new. I'm also going to start the carrot and ginger puree now as well. I'll slice some shallots down and sweat this down with some butter.
All right, so we've got heavy cream, pork, butter, all kind of things that are going to bring some bold flavors out here.
And the carrot and ginger should be
The carrot and ginger should give it a nice
counterpoint
zip.
really well.
Excellent. Okay. So how long is this going to reduce down, this cream and this ginger?
I like to let it go about 10 minutes maybe.
10 minutes?
Yeah,
All right.
Should be enough to let that ginger infuse.
And you just want to get, when you put the carrot inside of this too, you're just going to soften it up. Are you going to have a little bite to the puree, or is it going to be tender to the?
I'm doing the ginger in a separate pan because I want to kind of control how much ginger goes in.
Because it releases and some of the oils inside of there, it could totally take over your dish.
Absolutely. So I'm going to use the cream. I'm going to pull the ginger out and then adjust the consistency of the puree with the cream that's been infused with the ginger.
Okay. Okay. So back to the class that you just did with us on Thursday. First of all, the students were really excited to have a guest chef come on in and work along with Chef Christian, who's our program director. But they really walked out of here with a great sense of sous vide and what was expected. And actually, after speaking with a lot of them, the pork that they actually had, they thought was absolutely the best that they've ever had before.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It was nice on the outside. It had 2 different hues to it. Like the outside was this nice pink, and the inside was a little bit whiter. So it almost looked like it was a marbled piece of pork, which was pretty spectacular for them to see, because normally you see pork and it's just one color all the way through and it's dry, and this was just as moist as could be.
No, I expect now that I had a little more time for it to have a little bit more striking of appearance, a little bit stronger flavor, and really bring that hamminess to it.
It did. It actually tastes like, on the outside, it tastes like almost a Canadian bacon. On the inside, you got the pork. So it was a nice little contrast in flavor.
And I was kind of shocked being able to do it in that amount of time. It worked.
Well, thanks sous vide is pressure, so I guess there was a little pressure involved in the whole application that day. All right, so you got your butter sweating the shallots.
Yep, and then I'm going to just smash this garlic up real quick.
All right, smash away.
Then I'm going to start slicing the carrots down in a moment.
All right. So it looks like there's going to be a little bit of nice color going on in this plate too. And I noticed that you have some greens inside of here that referred to as microgreens that people use to make nice little, garnishes and things like that. But those microgreens actually, they're a blend that are called Intensity, and only because they have a little bit of pepperiness left in them. So that's probably going to go pretty good with the ginger and carrot.
It should look good. The bull's blood, there's some sorrel in there, it looked like. Probably some maybe dill. I also got some cilantro and some mosh that I put together. On top, it's going to be a root veg salad with carrots, apples, radishes, and scallions.
Excellent.
Shallots are doing their thing.
A little bit of garlic action in there. You got radish out here too. Where's the radish fall into this
It's
recipe?
to be on the root veg salad.
In the veg salad, so you're gonna have a little crunch going on too.
Yeah.
They always say a great dish has a couple different elements into it, and the crunch element is probably one of the favorite. So.
Yeah, it's because with all that pork and fat and cream, it's going to need some serious counterpoint.
Okay.
And I also brought some lemon and olive oil to do a simple citronette on top, to dress the root veg.
Okay. So a little chopping of the carrot.
Yeah, a little slice these down real quick.
All right. So when you open up this restaurant, how do you go about getting your staff for these kind of big openings?
Well,
since you've been with them.
We transplanted all of Lolita's staff.
Okay.
And some of them are plugged in at Lola right now. But we're just interviewing. I handed some business cards out at the school.
We did get those. So with Lolita, unfortunately, there was a little issue where you guys have to do a little bit of remodeling.
Yes, we do.
It's very nice to see that that staff is taken care of. That's one of the best parts of this hospitality industry is the family that's developed along the way. So we're glad to see that they'll be showing up. And ironically, the restaurants in your group seem to pop open all over the United States at this point. So
yeah, we reached pretty far at this point, and they move us all around, and I'm really glad for that.
And you had an opportunity to go out of state too and work in a couple places, I believe, right?
I came from Michigan.
Okay.
And I was when I started in this company, I was the hot apps cook at Roast, and then a sous chef job opened up here in Cleveland. I took it, and then when the executive chef job at Roast opened up, I couldn't refuse it. I had to give it a shot, and I went and did it.
And you did it. And here you are.
That's a playground up there. It's a really nice restaurant.
Okay.
So the shallots are sweat out, the garlic is sweat out. I'm gonna cook these carrots down.
And about how long are these carrots going to take to actually break down?
I hope pretty soon here, maybe 7 to 10 minutes.
7 to 10 minutes. You just want them tender, just so they break down. A lot of times people take the carrot and they just, they think of a puree that it has to be as soft as it can be to actually blend it. And when you have liquids and other components inside of it, you actually still want to keep some of the color too. Otherwise you get this off tone and it really isn't what you're going to be looking for.
And this puree, it's got a pretty striking appearance, so I think it really helps the dish look unique and really pop. Nice trusty spoon.
Alrighty. Your cream's starting to simmer on the other side.
Yeah, it's doing its thing.
So you talked a little bit earlier about this, the cure that you put on the outside.
Yes.
And exactly, is there a recipe that you follow each time? Do you find that you deviate for certain different cuts of meat?
I deviate in the time that it would be in contact with the meat, but the recipe is pretty standard.
It's a standard recipe.
For 150 grams of kosher, I do 6 grams of cure number 1.
So it's a standard, consistent recipe,
yes.
So you can evaluate how much time it takes to actually infuse into the meat or do its job.
And that stuff it's pretty high octane, so it goes pretty far.
High octane. Now, something really high octane you mentioned was the number 1 cure salt.
Yes.
A lot of people see this really nice pink salt that sits on a shelf and they think it might be that nice Peruvian or Hawaiian salt, and it really isn't. And pink curing salt isn't meant to be ingested by itself. So in the brining process, how is that used?
You add it in just like any other salt, mix it up real nice. I think 4 ounces will go to our 100 pounds of meat. So
that's a lot. So we're
goes
talking a little cup, a quarter cup.
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
Absolutely. When we make our bacon cure, we'll do it in 50-pound batches.
In vats, I bet.
But we're only using maybe a few ounces of the cure.
So this is kind of a test of your challenge here, because you're used to cooking pounds and pounds of meat.
Oh, absolutely.
And here this morning, Chef Brad walks in and he says, how am I going to cook 1 pork chop?
Yeah, I've never cooked one of these.
Wow.
Our recipe scaled to 12 pounds of carrots, but it should be just fine.
All right. Well, the shallots seem to have a nice color, and the butter, I think anything that's cooked with butter is awesome. Finishing sauces and things like that, just the velvetiness that comes off it in the oils. So I noticed that there's no salt or any pepper inside of anything yet.
I did add some salt to the shallots and to the
Okay.
carrots.
Oh, all right.
And I'm going to start adding my chicken stock. I like to add it in stages and let that do its thing. I think it's about time to open up this pork chop.
I was about to say, we enjoy to see a little bit of smoke activity on this show.
Yeah.
So why don't you bring that chop over? And this is a double bone chop?
It's got 3 bones.
3 bones.
Just 'cause.
Just because 2 wasn't enough.
2 wasn't enough.
2 wasn't enough.
I think it'll look really nice, and when you're serving it family style, I like eating bones.
Okay.
I like the bones.
Cream is simmering. So
That should be just fine by now.
well, normally that tells you right then and there that you're good to go. Well, if you're going to knock this onto the grill, let's make sure that our system is working and we got a little flame going. All right.
This is,
And you can
like I
smell
said,
that ginger starting to work in there too, so that's
it's a
kind of neat.
pretty simple preparation. It's been sous vide. I'm just going to pull this out Kind of let it. That's a pretty thick
That's a
chop.
nice, yeah, that's a nice looking piece of meat, though. So this is already cooked.
It's already cooked.
So when people go, and this is a technique that's really kind of taken off in the past couple of years. I've seen people do this with burgers, with New York strip steaks.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with a cure on it or anything like that, but infusing some flavors, and when you cryovac the bag, it really just helps push that flavor inside of the meats.
Oh.
So that is, I mean, to think that that's already cooked, because you can go to a restaurant and that would probably take about how long to cook?
From raw?
From raw.
It'd take
About
half hour.
almost 40 minutes. That's almost a 3.5 to 4 inch cut chop with bone, and to get that all the way through. So
That's why I love this technique. It's going to be off the grill in a few minutes. I'm going to let it rest, and then we're going to carve it up. And hopefully
so what we're doing on the outside, we're just giving it that, we talked about that crunch, that nice crust on the outside.
Yeah, I like pretty heavy char too. I think when you have a piece of meat this size, that heavy char lends itself to more
And it's
counterpoint
beautiful to
in the
look
dish.
at char. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that's about as rustic and barbaric as you can get, as a nice char on the outside of a chop.
Add some more stock to this guy.
It smells good.
Let's see here. I'm going to hit it hard on both sides and on the back to really render out that fat.
So you do it on all the sides too, just to kind of pull some of that fat out, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
As much as I love fat, it's not something I need to.
Well, I think there's an appropriate amount of fat that actually can be considered flavor, and then there's amount of fat that's just a little overkill to the animal. I don't think anybody likes to chew on an excessive amount, but I actually enjoy a little bit of fat on there just to keep
Yeah.
the moisture inside.
I'm going to start slicing down some of my
Okay.
root veg for this salad.
So you can make this little, so this is going to be kind of a room temperature salad.
Yes.
You can do that with the olive oil, a little bit of citrus, and
Yep. And then the radishes, the apple, and the scallion.
all right.
I don't want to do too much carrot. We'll go in here. Let's see where my.
You're using a little mandolin. I know a lot of people would attempt to do this all by hand, but these mandolins are just wonderful for slicing thin.
Yeah, it's not worth the frustration.
Well, I think once you learn how to manipulate that blade and keep your hands out of the way, really is a useful tool.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, that looks great. So, do you have any other items? I know that Lolita and Lola do a lot of this with the sous vide. I actually have one of our former students works at Lola.
Oh, very good.
And he comes out every now and then, and he brings us some fun recipes that you're doing.
Okay.
How many other items do you actually use this technique within the restaurant?
We had an octopus dish that we sous vide for 5 hours at 185. That I love that
How
preparation.
tender did that become after?
You know, it was very tender, and it would
Because octopus is tough. It's very tricky.
and it would crisp up really nice on the grill, and it gave it such a great texture that I love that preparation. We confit pork belly overnight.
We have a chef here that loves pork belly.
I mean, it's
I
pretty
mean, loves
special.
pork belly. Every recipe, pork belly.
All right, let's see where this pork chop is at. See where these carrots are at. It's got a nice hard char on it.
It looks extremely juicy as you're, pushing down on it. There's when they check their temperature of meat on the grill, you're pushing down. That looks about as juicy as can be. Where, if you were on a regular grill, you'd probably think that was still rare to raw on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no way we'd be even close to done
No.
with this. And let me check my carrots.
Okay. So we have this Vitamix set up back here. So this is so you just need those carrots to get a little tender.
Mm-hmm.
And is that honey, molasses? What's your sweetener for the bag?
Honey.
Honey.
Another minute on these carrots.
Another minute on the carrots.
I think we'll be good to go.
And constantly adding stock. Is there any Is there any kind of eye evaluation that you do for that amount? I know a lot of people like to follow a recipe to the T, and you seem to just be eyeing things, and I understand that as you become a more sophisticated chef, you know exactly what to put in there. But
Absolutely. Like I said, I've never made this recipe for this amount, but I just think that it probably could use a little bit more in the time that I'm going to let this reduce.
It's a challenge here.
Quite a bit.
Normally people are challenged in the other way of keeping the seasonings and the flavors correct. So
I'm going to go ahead and let this rest for a moment.
Let it rest. That looks great.
It's got some good color on there. I'm going to let it hit it on the back a little bit.
Burn the bone a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, the char is something I really look for. We got our scallions in here, we got our radishes, we have our carrots. I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I don't want to put the greens in yet. They'll wilt. Right now I'm just waiting for the carrots to get just a little tender, and then we're going to be up and running.
All right, and you have apple there too. What are we doing with the apple?
I'm going to slice the apple down right when we get into plate. I think apple kind of loses its luster when you let it sit.
Well, it oxidizes when it comes out. Sometimes I know people will take it and they'll brush it and they'll grill it or something like that.
Sure,
but,
absolutely.
oh, it looks like you got a couple different techniques going on here. Excellent.
Here.
All right.
And we're going to have to go ahead and flash that when it comes time to plate as well.
All right. Well,
So
let's take a look and see how your carrots are, and let's give that a shot inside of the Vitamix.
All right. It should be time for this.
Well, the good thing about these blenders, if it's even close to, these have nice power and
Yeah,
kind of blend things up, and purees can always be, reconstituted. So.
My trusty spoon.
All right.
I could have used a larger spoon for this, but it'll be all right.
Make sure that we got you on low.
Yeah, I checked that first.
Yeah. Often we find that we put things into the mixer and we have them on high, and it does build a little bit of pressure. So, not the kind of pressure we're looking for out of sous vide, though.
No.
It's not as flavorful when it comes flying out of there.
I'm going to bring over my cream and add some of the ginger right to it.
So you're actually going to puree some of the ginger into it?
Yeah. Like I said, I want to make sure I can adjust the amount of ginger. I don't want to overpower it.
And ginger is one of those ingredients that if you put too much in, it's almost impossible to get out. It's similar to salt.
Yeah.
Where, the quantities you have to put in, you're back to making that batch recipe again.
You can always add.
That's right.
Now it's another shot of cream. And I'm going to do a shot of honey for a little more sweetness.
All right, just to give the carrots a little bit more of that sweet.
Absolutely. And after I'm going to buzz this up, then I'm going to check my seasoning.
All right. You've got so much fat inside of there, it was like really trying to pull. Mm-hmm. So, but that's the proper amount of liquid you want in there?
Let me check it out.
Looks close.
It's going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
Stir around and get my...
I could see a rendition of this into like a sweet potato or something like that too, right
sweet
around
potato
maybe,
would be great. Squash
Thanksgiving
would be great.
time or, the seasonality of it, so.
Yeah, it's a perfect time for a dish like this.
Well, a perfect time for carrots too right now. It's,
Yeah.
spring.
Check my seasoning. I'm going to have Chef help me pass this through a chinois in a moment.
All right. We have a bowl to pass that through.
I have another pot that I was going to
Okay,
use.
another pot. All right. Sure, I'll pass that through for you. Got enough ginger?
You know what? Yeah.
It's good.
I think it's fine.
All right. Well,
Give it
I'll pass that through for you if you like.
I'm going to give it a shot of salt real quick. Buzz it up. Yeah, we'd really appreciate that.
Okay. Not a problem. You want me to buzz that for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Okay. I'll let you finish up there.
Okay, we're
One
going to put
last.
our salad together. We got the microgreens that Chef already talked about. Some of the mosh. cilantro. We already did the lemon juice. Threw a shot of salt in there. Mixed up with a shot of olive oil as well.
And by passing this through, we're kind of getting any of the impurities, or you just want a really
Want a
nice,
nice
smooth
soft texture.
All right.
And some of the chunks that may have not.
Right. May not have totally broken up. All right. So I'm going to swing over here so I can keep an eye on you. Hope you don't mind.
Not at all. I'm cutting my apple down at the last minute.
Passing right through. Kept a really nice color too. So I know a lot of times some people, you know, especially with beets, they have to add vinegar and things like that to the actual product and to keep the color. But this is really nice and vibrant. I think the honey, I could smell the honey in it. I can smell the ginger.
Chef, I could have actually use the ladle.
Yep, pass it through.
Yeah,
Okay.
get some of that stuff in there.
All right. Here, why don't you push that in there? Hold that for a moment. All right.
There we go.
Squeeze that through.
Thank you, Chef. I'm going to flash my chop, then it's probably about time to slice, I think.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, me either. Hope
Huh?
it turned
You
out how I planned.
Gotcha. All right.
All right. And our plate.
Yeah, you can tell this is like getting all the fibers that didn't actually puree up, but it looks great.
It's nice looking puree. Yeah.
Give it a little taste.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Should be just fine.
Good. Okay.
I got my plate all ready to go. Salad's ready to go as well. And this is a family style dish. That's why we're doing such a big pork chop. It's to be plated very rustically. A lot of color. Should look really nice when we're all set.
Okay. Now, for plating up, we're going to want to move our plate up a little bit so everybody can see exactly what we're doing.
Absolutely.
But you can start it, and we'll move some stuff out of the way. Okay.
All right. It's time to plate and slice.
That pork smells unbelievable.
All right,
I mean,
let's do it.
you can just smell it. It's awesome.
Thank you very much. Oh, my trusty spoon.
All right, so we get this on this plate. So with about a minute left, I'm sure that no pressure here, right?
No.
This whole
Been down this path
whole
before.
thing has been about pressure cooking and pressure blending and getting it on the plate on time. So you take the bone off.
I like to take the bone off,
Okay.
cut down the bones. That pork
Lay
looks
those
pretty
on, the
nice.
pork. And then you've got your salad to put on there as well. Okay, well, this is an absolutely a wonderful delight to have you out here and show us this technique, and this just smells absolutely unbelievable. And it looks awesome too. I mean, the colors and just the bones and the crispiness of the bird on the outside.
And there we go.
And there you have it.
Bacon cured pork chop.
Bacon cured pork chop, a la Brad.
Thank
Chef,
you very
thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.